We drove from Vermont through New Hampshire on our way to Maine.
Oh gosh. Oh geez.
And took a slight detour to the town of Littleton, where the author of Pollyanna is from. We didn't actually know this until we saw this cute umbrella stairway.
But these are what we got from the little herb shop to prevent any illness. Caitlin maybe wants to learn apothecary stuff.
I do want to learn about herbs.
That's what this trip is about, learning
About
new
herbs.
things.
There you go.
Ugh. 1 to 2 dropperfuls. Oh. Yeah, that's bad.
Just as good as I remember it.
Duck fat.
Duck fat. Original shake. It's like a tangier vanilla is how I would describe it.
Where are you now? We're in Maine.
Hello.
So you're gonna get to see the port here. Yep.
So Blair's mom just yelled to all these people on the ship, wave to my mom. It's green tea steeped with citron vodka, lemon, and chartreuse. This is my version of getting healthy in alcohol form.
You don't look like you like it.
No, I do like it a lot. It's like medicinal, but in like a good way. These are the oysters we had. We officially like East Coast oysters better than West Coast. Now, when you hear the word Portland, you probably think of Portland, Oregon. Fun fact number 1, Portland, Oregon was founded by 2 New Englanders, Lovejoy and Pettygrove. They both wanted to name this newfound city after their hometowns. So they flipped a coin and Pettygrove won. So Portland, Oregon it is.
Well, we're in Portland, Maine.
Yeah, but isn't that cool?
Yes.
Roughly 40% of all Maine residents live in the greater Portland area. No transatlantic port in the US is closer to Europe than Portland, Maine. It's also the 20th largest fishing port in the US. Maine alone accounts for 80% of the lobster in the US. No other fishery comes close. Last fact of the night, the Gulf of Maine, which I didn't know there was a Gulf of Maine, but the Gulf of Maine has over 250 million lobsters just sitting there, waiting. Will it be your next dinner? I don't know.
Delivery.
Delivery.
Maine potato donuts. Of course, Caitlin has to find the donuts.
Oh, they look so
Oh
good.
my gosh. They're made out of potatoes?
Yeah. I'm gonna take this one. Not good.
Does it taste like a potato?
No, but it has like a chewier texture. But it's like crisp on the outside. And it's like not crazy sweet. It's really, really
love
good.
that it's not crazy sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I tasted it, and it tastes kind of like funnel cake that you get at like a, what do you call them?
A fair?
Like a fair, but
I've never
better.
had a funnel cake, so I cannot confirm
Like
or deny that.
It's a fuller funnel cake taste because it's got more in it.
It's like local, just like good ingredients, no junk. They use like local potatoes. They use King Arthur flour, which is local to the New England area, and also just a really good flour. And then, yeah, no preservatives, no anything gross. We have 2 more people that are gonna try them, and we'll get their opinions as well.
Yeah.
Dad.
I don't know what this is, but it's really cool. It's sour, it is sweet.
Maybe it's lemon.
What flavor is yours, Dad?
Heck if I know.
It's so windy, but we're at
Port Head Lighthouse in Portland, Maine, which is really, it's in Cape Elizabeth, which is right outside of Portland.
And it was commissioned in 1790 by George Washington, and it was signed into contract of the governor of Massachusetts at the time, John Hancock.
decided to stop in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where the Industrial Revolution got its start. In 1793, the first spinning cotton yarn used by a water-powered machine began the modern American factory system of making things quickly and cheaply. The man in charge was Samuel Slater, who I can't decide if he's a revolutionist or a dick. Or both. Let's see what you think. In England, he had the nickname Slater the Trader because after a 7-year apprenticeship where he learned everything about the British textile industry, he memorized the factory machinery's designs and brought them to the United States. He convinced his soon-to-be partners that he could make as good of a yarn as they do in England. The first move as a mill developer is to build a walled dam. This creates a pond that stores the water to power the mill. The villagers here didn't willingly give up control of the water because fishermen, artisans, and others relied on the natural river flow. But Slater doesn't care. He begins building the dam and the villagers file a lawsuit against him. 4 people even destroy the dam, but Slater keeps going and finishes it before the courts could decide on the case. He designs the practice of bringing whole families into the business, but by employing their children ages 7 to 12 in awful working conditions. However, he provides company-owned housing nearby and sponsors Sunday school where the kids were taught to read and write. In 1798, he splits from his partners and forms Samuel Slater and Company with his family, where he develops up to 13 more mills. And by the time he dies, he's worth $1.3 million. Much of our modern life can be traced back to the revolution that started here. It's said that the impact of the industrialization was vast and often devastating. So please comment below if you think Slater was a revolutionist or a dick, or both. Okay, here's the thing. I'm interrupting the video you're currently watching, and I'm in the future, and we happen to be in Providence at the same exact time of year. So we're gonna spice up the video a little bit more than what it was gonna be. We hiked a few trails of the Newegg Concohnut Conservancy that is 88 acres large. We've officially summited Rhode Island. We're at the tallest part, 296 feet above sea level.
True? The tallest in Rhode Island?
In Rhode Island. In Rhode Island.
For sure? We're gonna fact check that.
Pretty sure. I was wrong. It was 296 feet above sea level. It was the highest in Providence. We're around Brown University and it's Parents' Weekend. And we were just looking at like a park and Caitlin walks up and she's like, what a vibe. Meaning they're very old and less intelligent than the people of Brown University. But we're gonna see this really cool library. The Athenaeum was built in the 1800s or something, but the real reason I wanted to come was the backstory with Edgar Allan Poe and a poet that he fell in love with, Sarah Helen Whitman. Whitman spent a ton of time here, so Poe traveled to Rhode Island to meet and court her, so naturally he spent a good amount of time here too. After only a few meetings, Poe proposed to Whitman in a cemetery. She refused his proposal in a letter a couple days later, but he convinces her to marry him with love letters, promises of sobriety, and various visits. They eventually broke off the engagement because family and friends told him they should. Well, he visited her again at the library and she showed him an anonymous poem that she liked. He signed his name next to the poem, revealing that it was actually his. And I guess they got back engaged again, and 2 days before their Christmas wedding, they were hanging out in the library and an unnamed messenger handed her a note saying that Poe broke his sobriety the night before and that morning. So she broke off the engagement for good and the two never saw each other again. And within a year, Poe was dead. Even though they had an unhappy ending, Whitman continued to advocate for Poe's work throughout her life. We're at WaterFire Providence, and it started in 1994. It is an art phenomenon. But there's 86 like fire things, and then there's 33 pieces of wood in each of them, and it happens May through November, once or twice a month, typically on Saturdays. It's gonna look really cool. felt very like spiritual, which was strange because we're like in the US and you only have that experience really in like, I feel like a foreign country.
Yeah, it did feel like we were in a foreign country.
But it's supposed to like bring together like the community with arts, music, and culture, and it just, yeah, it was really awesome. I highly recommend it. Don't start at the end. I think start further in the beginning. I'll show it on a map. It's great. We're leaving Providence today. It's a beautiful day out, and it's Halloween. We got our Hocus Pocus shirts on. We're gonna get on the Amtrak, take it to Penn Station, and then get on, and it's taking us to Chicago. And then we're going from Chicago to Montana, and we'll be there.
Well, we're moving and we're on the train, so there you go.
I just sent my parents a video of the roomettes, and I think they didn't research it before we booked. Caitlin is stressing out about this.
Before we booked this, I sent it to all parties involved to make sure that it was good, but I don't think anyone else read it but me. So I think somebody in this group is going to be in for a shock when they see the bed.
Oh no, why? What does it say?
Their bunk beds. The top bunk, she said she couldn't like even sit up. The upper bunk was smaller, harder, and not at all easy to climb into. You couldn't sit upright without hitting your head on the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
Who is gonna go up there?
We're grabbing a bag above you, so brace yourself.
Please make sure you have all your fruit.
Attention please. This is a boarding call for Amtrak Northeast Regional Train 161 on Route 1.
This is all I remember from 4th or 5th grade. On the 18th of April in '75, hardly a man is still alive who remembers that fateful day when he said to his friend, "One if by land, two if by sea, I on the opposite shore will be, ready to ride and set the alarm to every Middlesex village and farm for the country folk to be up and alarmed." That's as much as I remember.
That's pretty good.
And I'm gonna tell you a few facts.
Okay.
I need you to cut it there so I can learn my facts.
My hair looks short, but it's not.
It looks cute that length, actually.
Maybe I'll do that.
Okay.
I mean, considering they've had the same hairbrushes since I was like in elementary school, I don't know if they're gonna get new luggage.
I just got to get my act together and come on.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's good. He didn't sound like it.
Do you want to try a different one? Do you want to try one that's not fruit?